start the Lord's Prayer. He passed out today at the Bucky's opening. I understand he's still at the hospital, but I think he's doing better. And if we have a moment of silence and pray for Jeff's recovery, then I'll lead us in the Lord's Prayer. So let's have a moment of silence. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Cole, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I will now call this meeting of the Sevier County Board of Commissioners to order. And the first order of business is a roll call. And commissioners, if you will please mark present on your screen. Madam Clerk, would you please announce the number present?
21 present, 4 absent.
Okay, we do have a quorum. We move to the next item of business, which is consideration of the minutes of the previous meeting. You received those in your packet. For purposes of discussion, I will entertain a motion as soon as we bring the proposed minutes to the floor for action to be taken. They've been brought to the floor. Now, do I have a motion and a second? Do you have any discussion, additions, or corrections to the minutes? It's properly moved in second. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please move to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change your vote? Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Minutes have been properly moved, been properly adopted. We'll now move to consideration reports of the various committees, which is item number 4 on your agenda. Madam Clerk, would you please bring the proposed reports to the floor for action? We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the committee meetings. Is there any discussion or amendments to the committee meetings as presented? Seeing no further discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to the vote? Commissioners, would you please cast your vote? Anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Reports of the various committees have been adopted. We will now move to the next item of business, which is item 5, in which we have public comment. We will begin with public comment on the agenda items, and I have 3 requests for public comment on agenda items. If you would step, please, to the microphone when I call your name, and you have 3 minutes to comment on any issue on the agenda that you wish to. We had 3 call in the office, and I'll begin with Mr. Bill Bradley. Bradley, if you'll step to the mic, please. State your name and then the issue, and then you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Bill Bradley. Some of you on the commission may know me, or some of you don't. I'm a lifelong resident of Sevier County, born and raised here. I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of myself, my family, and the residents of White Falcon Way. Against or in opposition to the garbage transfer station that is proposed on White Falcon Way. I am sure the County Commission is aware that the state of Tennessee has designated Wires Valley Road as a scenic highway, and that 25 to 30% of the tourists that visit Sevier County travel Wires Valley Road. I haven't talked to anybody with the state or the city that's in favor of putting this transfer station on Wires Valley Road. And I can't understand why the County Commission would want to take away high tax producing commercial property and deplete your tax base and for now and in the future if you put it on White Falcon Way. The current transfer station on Tiger Drive has been there for 30 years or more, and it can't be used for anything much else. I don't know of any garbage transfer station in this county that is getting any requests for businesses or residents to be located beside them. The property on Wires Valley Road would be no different. It would kill the property as well as the adjoining property. This is not a done deal. Every one of you commissioners have a vote. I'm humbly asking that you vote against this move and do what the residents of White Falcon Way would want you to do, and vote against this. I apologize for not having more time. I just learned about this about 9 o'clock this morning, but I apologize to you for not being better prepared. But I'd humbly ask you to vote against this move of this transfer station. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bradley. Next we have Madeline Blum. Finally, we have Leslie Spears.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I want to ask some questions and speak, excuse me, on Article 18. The solid waste services pertaining to short-term rental household garbage sites. Okay, so I am here on behalf of myself, other service providers, and local and out-of-state property owners. So the first question is, how will the county differentiate who dumps at the current convenience centers now? How will they know who are cleaners and who are not? Will receipts be given to those who pay with cash at the new centralized location? Will the county have a W-9 prepared for each service provider? How will litter and debris be enforced, because it's not being enforced now? We cannot get a lot of cleaners to cover their trash now, and if they drop it, we can't get them to clean it up. Who will be collecting the money from the centralized location, and what will it be used for? Are the plans in place to install more dumpsters and or more centralized dump sites? How will the dump site and the trucks be managed to ensure that short-term or the service providers can dump the trash? And last but not least, worst case scenario, how will the county handle it if the service providers go on strike, forcing their employees and subcontractors to apply for state assistance and causing the short-term rental owners to lose business? That'd be all.
Thank you, ma'am. I think that is all the requests we have for public comment on agenda items. And now we will move next to a public hearing, which is on the two items of rezoning we have, and you do not have to sign up in advance for this public hearing. You can comment on either one of them. There's two rezonings, one on 722 Maples Hollow Road, and the other one is 750 South New Era Road. If you want to comment on either one of these rezonings, if you would just step to the podium and please state your name, and you have 3 minutes to comment on either one of these proposed rezonings. So our hearing is officially open, and I welcome any member of the audience that wishes to step to the podium, state your name, and which of those two rezonings that you are concerned with. Audience that would like to come to the podium and make a statement. Okay, seeing no one wanting to make a statement on any of the rezonings, I will officially close the public hearing on the rezonings, and we'll move into item number 6, which is consideration of resolution 2023-06-01, which is amending zoning rental resolution for Sevier County by rezoning tax map 38, parcel 86.05 from R1 Rural Residential District to C2 General Commercial District. We will now proceed to item 6, which is resolution 2023-06-01, which is amending the resolution by rezoning tax map 38, parcel 8605 from R1 to C2. Madam Clerk, please bring resolution 2023-06-01 to the floor for action to be taken. I have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Now, do we have discussion or questions concerning the first resolution? And Mr. Temple, do you have any comment concerning the resolution? Mr. Temple is our planner.
No, sir.
Okay. Any question from any member of the commission concerning this proposed rezoning, which has been recommended by the Sevier County Regional Planning Commission? Okay. Hearing no comment, Madam Clerk, please proceed to the voting screen. Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
The zoning resolution has been properly adopted. Now, we are on item number 7, consideration of resolution 2023-06-02, which amends the zoning resolution for Sevier County, Tennessee by rezoning tax map 71, parcel 95.01 from R1 Rural Residential to A1 Agricultural District. Madam Clerk, would you please bring the resolution to the floor for action to be taken? Do I have a motion and a second to approve this resolution? We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion or questions concerning the resolution as presented? Any comment on the resolution, Mr. Temple?
No, sir.
Okay, hearing no questions and no discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Any commissioner like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
The rezoning resolution has been adopted. We are now on item number 8, which is consideration of resolution 2023-0603 to appoint certain trustees to the Sevier County Public Library System Board of Trustees. You would now proceed to the voting screen and bring that resolution to the floor. Yeah, we have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution, and the members being proposed for the Public Library Board of Trustees are Patrick Ramey, with a term expiring in June 30th, 2026, Timothy Fisher, with a term expiring June 30th, 2026, and Carol McMahon, with a term expiring June 30th, 2026. Questions or comments concerning the resolution 2023-0603? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Item number 9, consideration of resolution 2023-0604 to confirm the appointment of members to the Sevier County Regional Planning Commission. Now proceed, Madam Clerk, to bring resolution 2023-0604 to the floor for any action to be taken. We have a motion and a second. Now, do we have any discussion or questions concerning this resolution? There are 2 members to be appointed to that Sevier County Regional Planning Commission. One of them is Mr. Jimmy Hicks, whose term expires June 30th, 2027. He is a returning member, and Mr. David Bell, whose term expires June 30th, 2027. Do we have questions or comments? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Resolution has been properly adopted. We're on item number 10 now, consideration of resolution 2023-0605, which is to appoint a member to the Sevier County Board of Zoning Appeals. Madam Clerk, would you please bring that resolution to the floor? Do I have a motion? Do I have a second to approve the resolution? I have a second. Now, do we have any discussion or questions to the resolution appointing Mrs. Betty Vickers, whose term expires June 30th, 2027? I believe Mrs. Vickers is presently a member of the Board of Zoning Appeals, so this would be a reappointment. Have any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. Madam Clerk, would you proceed to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you cast your votes? Anyone like to change their votes? Not, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
21 yes votes. Resolution has been properly adopted. We're now on item number 11, which is consideration of resolution 2023-0606, which is to approve the purchase of a portion of partial 09317.147.00 off of White Falcon Way, Wares Valley Road. Madam Clerk, would you please bring that resolution to the floor? We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. We have a motion, we have a second. Now I will open the floor for any discussion or questions concerning this resolution. Question or comments from the commission concerning the resolution?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Commissioner Whaley.
up there where we're out of room. We don't have no more for compactors. We're in the river. We're right at the school. We're jammed at school. I've looked a year and a half. I found 2 places in Wares Valley, and we couldn't put them there. I found another place, you wouldn't let us. This is the only place I've come up with. White Falcon Way. That's where we're at.
Any further comments? Mr. Eddy.
I'll second that. He said, I'm new in this, and so he spent a lot more time than I had, and I tried to find somewhere else, and I couldn't. And the school is the biggest issue also. It's in the floodplain where it's at now. Should have been moved a long time ago. The school, even I talked to most of them, it's a safety thing. They can't lock down the school for a public enough meeting there. So, not that it's the best location you can ever find, it's just, it's the only location we can find.
Commissioner Parker.
Yes, sir. We have made this, talked about this for about 4 months. I still believe that, I'm not saying that it's not an issue, it is an issue. But the biggest issue is this where we really want to put this convenience center? I understand Mr. Whaley has burnt tires now. But I will say this, the convenience center, I can speak with authority on this part about the school system because I was there for 34 years. The convenience center was there before the school was built there. We accepted the convenience center being. Let me preface this to say, I am not speaking for Sevier County School System. I'm speaking for my constituents. Yes, it's not an ideal place, I would agree with that. Yes, it does flood at times, that is correct. And, I just wish we could just put the brakes on just a little bit and let's see what this new venture that we're undertaking, and that is moving the commercial, bags of trash or garbage or whatever it is to a more centrally located place. And you see what kind of impact it's actually going to have on the site there off the Tiger Drive. And again, I'm not saying that it's not an issue, it is an issue. As far as I know, it's not ever been an issue as far as the school system was concerned with the caveat of saying, now that we have our campus fully gated and locked during the school day, and the safety issue is not raised. I would ask that we could possibly consider putting this off until we have a better understanding of what's actually going to take place when the commercial vendors start taking their debris and trash over to the center site.
What are we gonna do with it? It's shutting down now. I mean, every day it's shut down. I mean, we got, what we gonna do? I mean, what are you gonna do? You just put it out, I mean, no more good. I mean,
Have further comments from the commission? Recognize the call for question if no further comments from any commissioner. Okay, if not, Madam Clerk, would you please bring the resolution to the floor? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? You vote yet, now we can. Any commissioner like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
19 yes votes, 1 no vote, 1 abstain.
Resolution is properly adopted. Item number 12. Consideration of resolution to establish and update the Sevier County Employee Handbook. Which is consideration of resolution 2023-0607. Approve and recognize and establish administrative policies for the operation of Sevier County government. And we proceed to screen and move to the resolution 2023-0607. Bring that to the floor, yes. We have a motion and a second to approve it. These policies concerning, and you have them in your packet, they have been recommended by the Intergovernmental Committee. It concerns our classification and compensation policy, fleet administration and vehicle use policy, fleet safety policy, asset management policy, comprehensive travel policy, procurement policy, solid waste operation policy. As I say, this has been recommended by the Intergovernmental Committee, and the floor is now open for any discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I would
Yes.
like to add that a lot of these policies were already in place.
We were just changing, a lot of it, just some verbiage here and there, so.
Most of these were already in place. And I would recommend it.
Thank you, Commissioner Parton. That is correct. These policies were already in place, and they are just now updating a few minor items. Other questions or comments? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Resolution 2023-0607 has been properly adopted. We're on item number 13. Consideration of resolution 2023-0608, which is to establish and update the Sevier County Employee Handbook. Madam Clerk, would you please bring resolution 2023-0608 to the floor for the action to be taken? We have a motion and a second to approve. Do we have discussion? I can again inform the commission that this employee handbook was in your packet. It has been thoroughly reviewed by the Intergovernmental Committee. It is basically updating the policies that we presently have and operate under to adjust for some changes in both state and federal law. And our HR Director, Carrie Strickland, has been involved, as well as various members in my office have also been involved. We've had attorneys review this, as well as the Intergovernmental Committee. So, further questions or comments concerning item number 13? Hearing none, we have advanced to the voting screen. Commissioners, please cast your votes. Would anyone like to change their vote? Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
21 yes votes. Policy, the resolution has been properly adopted. We are now on item number 14, consideration of resolution 2023-0609, which to adopt the various standard codes relating to inspection activities for Sevier County, Tennessee, pursuant to PCA sections 5-20-101 through 5-20-106A. Madam Clerk, would you please bring resolution 2023-0609 to the floor for action to be taken? We have a motion and a second to approve. This is probably, I don't know, is Captain Puckett here? Chief Puckett, brother? Oh, Captain. I demoted you right then and there. You want to come and just tell them what we're doing by this briefly, by adopting these standards for inspection activities? While Chief Puckett's coming, I can tell you that this resolution has been thoroughly vetted by the Budget Committee and Intergovernmental Committee, and both recommended approval to the Commission. Chief Puckett.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. So we came a couple months ago in March and presented the adoption of the new fire code. Every 7 years we have to be within 7 years of the latest standard that the state of Tennessee has adopted. This is basically, we had presented that in March, and this is after the 90 days window for public commentary and review, and for us to amend and adopt a new code.
Question from the Commissioners concerning this resolution. Hearing, thank you.
Just to make sure that we're only updating the code as per TCA, that we have to be within 7 years of the last adoption. Is that correct?
That's correct. We were in 2012, and we're going to be updating it to 2018.
Thank you. Other questions or comments from the Commissioners? Okay, Madam Clerk, would you advance to the voting screen, please? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Any commissioner like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Resolution been properly adopted. We're on item number 15. Consideration of resolution 2023-0610, adopt fee schedule for update for inspections related to fire code and life safety. Madam Clerk, would you please bring resolution 2023-06-10 to the floor for any action to be taken? You have a motion and a second. Now, do we have discussion? I will either recognize Chief Puckett or Deputy Chief Tucker, whichever one wants to come and make a statement concerning this. While he's coming, this resolution and these fees have been thoroughly vetted both in the Budget Committee and in the Intergovernmental Committee. Chief Puckett.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity again. Once again, with the adoption and update of the fire code, like I said previously, we had to be within 7 years of the state of Tennessee. With adoption of the new 2018, we had verbiage in there on the amendment identifying transient rentals as being that what it is, a transient rental and not a resident. In doing so, we're proposing an inspection program in which there will be fees levied for life safety inspections on these rental properties across the county, along with other life safety inspections on public buildings and facilities.
Any questions from members of the commission concerning the resolution? Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, Commissioner Hart.
Chief, I want to make sure that I understand. The fees that are going to be, what is the advantage for us to do this?
Certainly. So currently, right now, we have about 6,500 transient rentals across the county. And with those, prior to the amendment of the fire code, those were identified in the state of Tennessee as a residence. And a residence, the fire department, we do not have the authority to come in and check for life safety code violations and ensure safe activity, which basically means, what we're trying to do is identify those as what they are, a transient property, which would be what we voted to adopt. And then the reason why we need to be in there is with these life safety inspections, we're going to find things like decks and handrails and guardrails and lack of smoke alarms, the lack of fire extinguishers and things of that nature. The purpose of this is to create a safer environment for our guests when they come into town and to ensure their safety during their stay. Like I said beforehand, when they were classified as residential, we did not have the authority to go in and be able to perform those life safety inspections. With this passing, we would be able to do that. The fee that would be generated through the permit, would then go to help pay for the inspectors, fund the program, and for the fire service throughout the county.
Other questions or comments concerning resolution? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Any commissioner like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Resolution been properly adopted. We're on resolution number 16. Consideration of resolution 2023-06-11. Adopt fee schedule update for the Department of Geographical Information Services and Administration. Madam Clerk, would you please bring resolution 2023-06-11 to the floor for any action to be taken? Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. This is just updating fees for our GIS department that various vendors want the information from the GIS, and they haven't been updated, I don't think, since the inception of the department. So, any questions from the commission? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would any commissioner like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Resolution has been properly adopted. We are now on resolution number 17, which is consideration of resolution 2023-06-12, which is to adopt a fee schedule update for the Department of Water Services. Madam Clerk, would you please bring resolution 2023-06-12 2023-12 to the floor for any action to be taken. To the floor, we have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Our water superintendent is here, I think. Yes. Keith Shields. Brent Shields, rather. I don't know which one of you would be madder at me, Brent.
I've answered
You or
that
your
my whole
brother?
life, so,
You or your brother?
yeah. What we're doing is we're changing from a deposit over to an application fee. Because the deposit, not many utilities charge deposits now, they charge an application fee. Because it's sort of a nightmare because you have to keep up with it. You have to apply the deposit to the account when they close it. Then you have to go through a final billing. Then you have to send it over to the finance director, and then they have to issue a check. Part of the time you get those checks back, then you have to send those to the state. So we're just trying to simplify it and go to an application fee. They won't be paying any more than they pay now, though. So.
And this resolution has been properly vetted by the Water Committee and recommended to the full commission
Yes.
based upon the information that Brent has given them. Any further questions concerning the resolution? None? Thank you, Brent. Okay, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Resolution been properly adopted. Next is item number 18. Consideration of resolution 2023-06-13, adopt a fee schedule for the Department of Solid Waste Services pertaining to short-term rental household garbage sites. Madam Clerk, would you please bring resolution 2023-06-13 to the floor for any action to be taken? We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Matt Rudder. Matt, you want to explain to him this resolution? I could have Mr. McCarter explain it since he was member of that committee. He's pointing at Matt, so.
We'll both go up there, how's that?
Yeah, you both can come up here and be part of this.
The Intergovernmental Committee approved a fee structure for short-term rentals, of which we did the research based upon the direction of the Intergovernmental Committee. As passed, the levels that the committee approved were essentially 3 levels for commercial garbage, household garbage. Level 1, which would be $10, is a full load pickup truck or a full load short trailer. Level 2 would be an over limit pickup truck. So if the back of the pickup truck was over the bed, or an over limit short trailer, or if there's a long trailer that's fully loaded, would be 20. And then pickup trucks with rails or other larger sizes was voted on and approved at level 3 of $30. The methodology by which will be taking place at these particular sites, as discussed by the committee, which these are in your packets as well, but to go by the Knox County model, which uses just simple levels of where the particular household garbage is in pickup trucks as they're dumped off at the sites. So that is as has been approved by the intergovernmental committee and charged to us to figure out administratively how to work it. Is that a fair statement, Matt?
Well, Matt and Brian did a lot of work on this, and I might add, although I'm not supposed to add something like this, that as county mayor, I have reservations and concerns about this resolution, but I've expressed those to special committee and any committee considering this. They took those concerns into consideration and ignored them, so we'll move on from that. But
That's not the first time we've been over these.
Commissioner, actually, that's exactly right. I can't, and probably won't be the last. Any discussion or questions concerning this resolution?
Chairman?
Yes.
You said that there was quite a bit of conversation about this, and again, I'm somewhat like the mayor, I oppose the amount that we I would go with what the recommendation was.
Other questions or comments from members of the commission? Okay, hearing none, and this resolution was recommended by our special solid waste committee that
It was a special solid waste committee. It then went to the intergovernmental committee, and intergovernmental committee has recommended this to full commission.
both committees recommended resolution. So, hearing no further discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please move to the voting screen? Bring resolution 2023-06-13 to the floor for consideration. Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would any commissioner wish to change your vote? Hearing no request to change a vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
19 yes votes, 2 no votes.
Okay, resolution has been properly adopted. Next, we are on item number 19, which is resolution 2023-06-14, which is to amend the fiscal year 2022-23 budget for the General Fund 101, Fire Protection Fund 111, Solid Waste and Sanitation Fund 116, Special Purpose Fund 121, Other Special Revenue Fund 128, Highway Fund 131, General Purpose School Fund 141, School Projects Fund 142, excuse me, School Central Cafeteria Fund 143, Debt Service Fund 151, Public Utility Fund 204, all of these to more accurately reflect revenues and expenditures. This resolution has been vetted through the Budget Committee and in discussions as well as various other committees. So, Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to bring Resolution 2023-06-14 to the floor for any action to be taken. We have a motion and a second. Now, do we have discussion or questions concerning this resolution? Hearing no questions or discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change their vote? Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Okay, the resolution has been properly adopted. We are on item number 20. Consideration of resolution 2023-06-15, approving the sale and/or disposal of vehicles and equipment for the fiscal year 2022-2023, ending June 30th, 2023. Madam Clerk, if you would bring this resolution to the floor for any action to be taken. We have a motion second to approve the resolution. Our Finance Director, Brooke Huffaker, do you want to, Brooke, would you like to come and tell them what this resolution does? I know you really want to.
You read my mind, sir. This is the surplus resolution that we do at the end of the fiscal year every year, and it's the mostly vehicles that we're rotating out of the fleet. We sell them on gov deals because we have to sell them at public auction. There's a few other capital assets on there that we have to surplus out of our asset inventory for the year. So that's just allowing us to do that.
Question from any member of the commission concerning this resolution. And you might want to just say that we've got the next one on leases,
Yep.
and you can explain that when we do that. Questions on this resolution?
Hey, if a vehicle don't sell, what do you do with it? Crush it?
I mean, we could still surplus it in other ways after that point. If we've tried to sell it, but then, I mean, we could surplus it out of the fleet at that point. But yeah, it could be potential that we either sold it for parts or whatever. We could use it for parts. That's a good question. Thanks.
Other question from the commission? Okay, hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
21 yes votes. We're now on item number 21. Consideration of resolution 2023-06-16, a resolution authorizing multiple year lease purchases and maintenance agreements of Sevier County General Fund and other revenue funds. Madam Clerk, would you please bring resolution 2023-06-16 to the floor for any action to be taken? We have a motion and a second to approve it. Now, do we have any discussion? Again, Brooke, I'll allow you to explain what this does.
Okay, this is our lease resolution that we do at this time of the year, like the surplus resolution. Usually you're going to see all of our copiers, maintenance agreements on there. We've drastically decreased that list, trying to go to more purchasing so that we don't have to have these multi-year leases on there. And then I think the other exhibit that you have in front of you is any property that we're currently leasing. A few of those are convenience centers. We're leasing some property for some various departments as well, including the new fire department.
Questions from members of the commission concerning resolution 2023-06-16. Thank you, Brooke.
Yep.
Hearing no question, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
Yes votes.
Item number 22, consideration of resolution 2023-06-17 to establish the certified tax rate and fixing the tax levy in Sevier County, Tennessee for the fiscal year 2023-24, beginning July 1st, 2023. Madam Clerk, would you please bring that resolution to the floor? This resolution has been recommended by the Budget Committee as part of the budget process. And I can tell you the tax rate, as recommended by the Budget Committee to use $1.48, which is no increase from the present tax rate, which is the same one to fund the budget as presented this year. Do we have questions, comments concerning this resolution? The hearing none. Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Tax rate has been properly adopted. Item number 23 on your agenda, which is consideration of resolution 2023-06-18, appropriating for various funds, offices, divisions, departments, institutions, and agencies for Sevier County, Tennessee for the fiscal year 2023-2024 to begin July 1st, 2023. Madam Clerk, would you please bring resolution 2023-06-18 to the floor for any action? We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Now the floor is open for any discussion concerning the resolution. Again, this resolution has been adopted or recommended to you by the Budget Committee. Hearing no discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
21 yes votes. Resolution's been properly adopted. Item number 24, consideration of resolution 2023-06-19 to approve the official budget documents for Sevier County, Tennessee for the fiscal year 2023-2024 to begin July 1st, 2023. Madam Clerk, would you please bring this resolution to the floor for any action to be taken? We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Do we have discussion on the resolution now?
I got a question.
Yes, Commissioner Foster.
When we fund these nonprofits, who is checking to make sure they're spending the money that we give them we're supposed to?
Most of the nonprofits have to give us an audit, and they provide that office to my office about where their expenditures are going.
Most but not all?
I think maybe all of them are required to now, isn't that right?
Yes,
Brooke?
if they're getting an official audit, they have to produce that or any financial statements otherwise that they have.
Now they have to, if they get it, most of them do, almost all of them do the audits, and they are required to give us those audits. If they don't do an audit, the few that don't, they have to give us a certified financial statement about their use of funds. Other questions? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change a vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Resolution been properly adopted. We are now on item number 25, which is consideration of resolution 2023-06-20, appropriate funds to various nonprofit organizations which benefit Sevier County and its citizens for the fiscal year 2023-24. Madam Clerk, would you please bring Resolution 2023-06-20 to the floor for any action to be taken? We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Now, do we have further questions or comments from the members of the commission concerning this resolution? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your vote? Would anyone like to change your vote? Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Next is item number 26. Consideration of resolution 2023-06-21, authorization for county mayor to execute a contract with Tennessee Department of Transportation concerning SR-449 extension of Veterans Boulevard from Robert Henderson Road north of Little Pigeon River to SR-66. Madam Clerk, would you please bring resolution 2023-06-21 to the floor for any action to be taken? We have a proper motion and a second to approve the resolution. This resolution allows the county mayor to execute this contract with TDOT, which is for the Veterans Extension. As you all know, we had our transportation consultant, Mr. Jeff Mize, with CDM Smith, made a presentation to the Budget Committee concerning the Veterans Extension and exactly what that means and how that fits in an overall transportation plan. The state of Tennessee has appropriated approximately $80 million to complete this extension, and the city of Sevierville has authorized an additional $9-something million, and this authorizes Sevier County to pay a portion, a little over $10 million. And those funds would be taken from the, I call them Biden books, but that's not what they're called. ARPA funds, which would fund this project. Do we have questions or comments concerning this resolution?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Extend part of that, part of the would come into 60.
It would come, this first part of the extension extends Veterans Parkway out, and it would come in right there at the Wilderness. You could get on there and come right straight through, which hopefully will alleviate some of the traffic on Dolly Parton Parkway. That is part of a overall plan, which eventually will have a parkway that extends to the interstate, which we hope will be a new interchange out there at the 408. Other discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, you've advanced to the voting screen. Commissioners, would you cast your votes? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Okay, item number 27, consideration of resolution 2023-06-22, authorization for the county mayor on behalf of Sevier County to apply to be the lead applicant for a Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation competitive regional application on behalf of the Sevier County Water Board. Madam Clerk, please bring resolution 2023-06-22 to the floor for any action to be taken. We have a motion and a second to approve, and I will explain this. The Sevier Water Board, at present, we have a raw water line that runs from Douglas Lake all the way to Pigeon Fords. That raw water line is running right at capacity at present. What we have received, we being the cities of Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and then Sevier County, and Sevierville is participating as well, but to a much lesser extent because they have a water supply on the French Broad. We have a grant that we've received for some $3 million to do planning on a parallel line to this line to go to Pigeon Forge, which would bring more water from Douglas Lake to Pigeon Forge because that water line is at capacity. This grant will be for approximately $20 million, and we are the lead applicant because we're more likely to get the grant if Sevier County does it and the cities participate because they like regional cooperation. And we do this based upon percentage use of the water that comes into the system. So our percentage use is going to be something like somewhere between 8 and 11%. So any kind of funding is based upon that percentage. Pigeon Forge has the largest percentage, and they sell water to Gatlinburg. If we get this grant, which, as I said, this grant is for about $20 million. So this would allow us to apply for this competitive grant in the state.
Who was that on?
The Sevier Water Board.
Who will get that corporation?
The various entities, the agreement we have as far as our water department is, there is a set formula in there with each entity, Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and Newport Utilities. We buy water from them. We're also, we'll have working on agreement with Knox Chapman as well. And the formula is in all of those contracts about how the water rates are set. Other questions or comments?
What's it say in the contract as far as cutting the bid, cut the county off on water? Address that in the contract.
It addresses that in the contract. The only way, and I believe I'm right, I'm trying to remember a contract that's several years old, but I believe the only way that could happen is if they don't have enough water to supply system. In other words, that's what this line is all about, is to make sure we have adequate water in the county to supply all the systems. So, in other words, what is happening now is we've got several grants that we're extending water out in the county, and we're getting permission from these various entities, whether it be Pigeon Forge, whether it be Sevierville, whether it be Gatlinburg, and I think we're talking with Knox Chapman as well. I think they have approved or are willing to approve the extensions that we have for the additional customers in these grants. I believe, Brent, there are about 300 and some customers in our, is that right? In these grants, and the water committee's approved all those, and I think those entities have approved us tying on. But at some point in time, if they didn't have the water available, we couldn't tie on additional customers if the water wasn't available. So that's what this line is going to do, make that water available. Other questions from the commission? Okay, hearing none. Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
Okay. We're down to notaries, Madam Clerk.
49 notaries.
We have 49 notaries. Would you please bring the proposed notaries up for action. We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion or questions? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change their vote? Anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
We have 21 yes votes. Okay, notaries are adopted. Under other business, I have one thing here, and I don't know if she would like to go ahead and speak, but the lady, Madeline Blum, has arrived and was late. I would inform her that this action has already been taken by the commission, but we'll be allowed, she'll be allowed to speak as she called in if she wants to. You have 3 minutes, ma'am, if you'd like to speak.
3 minutes, I'm going at 5.
Okay. Good evening. I am a local realtor, and I also am a owner of a second home here in Sevier County. And I am just here representing my clients and various homeowners that have second homes here in Sevier County. There were some cleaning members here and crew members that were here that really wanted to address this, and I think they did. I started a petition because I do think that this law or bill that you're trying to pass really is going to hinder tourism, business overall in this area. A lot of the money that comes into Sevier County is due to rentals that are, cabins that are rented on the short-term rental market. And so I'm just going to highlight a couple of points here in this petition. Currently, there are about 250 signatures that have been signed. That started at about noon today. The word is getting out, and there are a lot of homeowners that are very, very upset about this proposal. Now, I think the biggest issue is that, and I will read, cleaners in the area perform a crucial service, ensuring that guests have a pleasant and comfortable stay. They work diligently, often under tight schedules, to keep these properties in pristine condition. Currently, cleaners in the overnight rental market are struggling to find suitable places to dispose of the accumulated waste for these properties. The absence of designated dumping areas forces them to navigate complex waste management systems or resort to makeshift solutions that are far from ideal. This not only adds unnecessary stress to their already demanding work, but also poses potential health and environmental risks. So, you know, not only has Sevier County imposed a new tax reassessment where homeowners were paying 25%, it's now been increased to 40%, and it's now considered commercial, real estate. Homeowners feel that it is already a burden in this market. Tourism has increased, and everyone in this area, and I may be going over, sorry, many people are starting to see that there is a decline in tourism in this area. Is that due to the number of homes that are being added to this area? But homeowners are starting to definitely see a decline in their revenue, which is going to affect this even more if there is this increase if this increase of garbage disposal centers is adopted. So, where can I email the petition?
You can give them to my office and I'll distribute them.
Okay.
The mayor's office.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, further business to come before I have one other piece of business. We need to wish Commissioner Brandon Hedrick a happy birthday today. Today's his birthday. That's right. Okay, any other business? We have a motion to adjourn.
One thing I'd like to
Thank you, Commissioner Ashley. Any other comments? If not, we have a motion to adjourn. We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor of adjourning, please rise. We're adjourned. Thank you.